It's nibble time. Let's get into it. Happy Friday. Happy spring break. I am so excited. I'm probably more excited than the kids. You know why? Because I ain't got to get up at 5:30 to get nobody ready to get on a bus. But anyway, that ain't what we come to talk about. So we've been wrapping it all up. We've been talking this week about the law of Genesis, seed time and harvest. As long as the earth remains, that is a law. And God, of course, he does not change. Matthew 3:6 says, "For I am the Lord and I do not change." So he is not taking that back. He's not taking any promises back. He cannot do that. But yesterday we talked about not only are we planting our seeds and we're planting the type of seeds that we need and desire to come up, but we have to plant them in good soil. And so the Phillips translation puts Matthew 13:18 through 23. It says about a parable of the sower. When the man hears the message of the kingdom and does not grasp it, the evil one comes and snatches away what was sown in his heart. This is like the seed sown on the roadside. The seed sown on the stony patches represents the man who hears the message and eagerly accepts it, but it has not taken root in him and does not last long. The moment of trouble or persecution arises, through the messages, he's give up his faith at once. The seed sown among the thorns represents the man who hears the message, and then the worries of life and the illusion of wealth choke it to death, so it produces no crop in his life. But the seed sown on good soil is the man who both hears and understands the message. His life shows a crop, a good crop, 160 or 30 fold is what was sown. So remember, we want to make sure we're putting our seeds on good soil. But what happens when weeds grow up with what you plant in the ground? What happens when weeds grow up in there? Well, there's a parable in here that talks about the kingdom of heaven. Says it's like a man who sowed good seed in the field, but while his men were asleep, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat, and then they ran away. When the crop came up and ripened, the weeds appear as well. So those would be people who may be trying to offend you, people trying to take your peace, your joy is being stolen. Those are the weeds that are coming up with the seeds that have been planted in the ground. So what we gonna do about it? This is what it tells you. Then the owner's servants came up to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where did all these weeds come from?" "Some blackguard has done this to spite me," he replied. "Do you want us to then go out and pull them all up?" says the servants. The man says, "No, we're going to let them grow together." So you allow your seed to grow with the weed. So you're allowing your wheat or whatever it is to grow with the weeds. Let it grow together. And then it says at harvest time, because see, if you try to pull them up now, if you take the offense now, it's going to cut your harvest. You see what I'm saying? If you let Satan steal your joy now, it's going to cut your harvest. If you wait for everything to spring up together, then you can clearly see, oh, I see that offense for what it is. Oh, I see what you're doing. I see you trying to steal my joy for what it is. Oh, you're not going to take my peace. I'm not going to allow this. I'm going to be silent. I'm going to stand still. I'm going to let God fight that battle, and I'm going to stay over here and be at peace. See what I'm saying? When you do that, then you can clearly see the difference between the harvest and the weeds, and you can bundle them up, and it says burn them up. So that's what you do. Don't get bogged down. Don't get involved in anything that will choke your seed or your harvest out. Listen, y'all have a safe weekend. I love you, and stay in faith no matter what.